Hello, I'm Carl Baldassare, and first I'd like to welcome all our new subscribers. It's great and really appreciate you joining on. Love the interaction with you, so just want to welcome you and hopefully we'll be joined by more as we go along. Now in this episode, we're going to yet again do another pop song review. Now this is something my producers have been asking me to do. We've done one already. We might do some more of these things. They're kind of fun. I learned a lot. And today we're going to be listening to a song by the South Korean boy band called BTS. And the song is called Dynamite. Now, this band is amazing because they are the first group to earn 4 #1 albums since the Beatles in 1968. That's an incredible accomplishment. And this particular song, Dynamite, has had 1.4 billion views on YouTube. That is an unimaginably large number. In fact, if you had 1.4 billion people standing in a line, it would stretch from Earth to the moon and back 3 times. That's a lot of viewers. Just a little bit more than I have, at least for the time being. So today we're going to look at this song and again try to understand, well, why is it so successful? The song only has 4 chords. What are the artists doing to make this song feel like it's moving along and not being stagnant? So we're going to dig in right now. Now I'm going to look at this song based on 7 elements. We're going to look at the chord progression, we're going to look at the harmonic rhythm, we're going to look at the melodic registration, the melodic rhythm, a very important modulation move they do towards the end of the song. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the drama of the whole story. And then lastly, I'm going to mention some commercial considerations that were very wisely chosen as they put this video and song together. Well, first off, let's look at the chord progression, the harmonic progression. In this song, there's 4 chords. That's it, just 4 chords, and they continue to repeat the chords. And the chords are C sharp minor, F sharp minor 7th, B7 sus, and E. Now, it's unusual to start a song on the 6th chord of a key. This song is starting on C sharp minor, which is the 6th of the key of E flat major. So that's kind of cool that they're doing that. And also what it does in their progression, which is a 6 to 2 to 5 to 1 progression, they're delaying the tonic chord, and it has a nice sort of resolution feel when you delay it. So if you watch, the 5, and then we land on 1. So we have this kind of ongoing sense of delay and resolution, which is quite pleasant to the ear. So that's a really good chord progression to start with. So what are they doing to make sure the song doesn't get boring just playing the 4 chords? Well, the first thing we're going to look at is the harmonic rhythm of these chords. Now, harmonic rhythm means like how many chords are occurring within 1 bar. And you can change that up. And in this song, they do that. They have 2 contrasting harmonic rhythms of the chords. The first set of harmonic rhythm that you'll hear in the chorus is that they're playing 2 chords per bar. And then when we get to the verse, they're playing 1 chord per bar. The same chords, but they're pacing in a different rhythm. Let's have a listen to the opening part of the track, which starts off with the chorus, and you'll hear that they're actually playing the chords with 2 chords per bar. Okay, so that rhythm was starts on 1 and then everything's on the upbeat. So you have the C sharp minor, let's turn that up. So you get that nice upbeat sort of feel, and it's moving because you have 2 chords per bar. But then when they go to the verse, they're changing the harmonic rhythm. Same chords, but by changing the harmonic rhythm, it really changes the feel of the song. So let's jump to the first verse and hear how they're doing that with 1 chord per bar. Shoes on, get up in the morning, cup of milk, let's rock and roll. Kick out, kick the drum, rolling on like a rolling stone. Sing song when I'm walking home, jump up to the top of the brown. Ding dong, call me on my phone, nice day, I look at my ping pong. So that really changes the feel of those 4 chords. And why are they doing that? Well, actually, it really serves a great purpose. Apart from just variety of the harmonic rhythm, it's giving you some time by having only 1 chord per bar to digest all the information they're giving you with the lyrics. And we're going to go back to that later on, talking about what the lyrics are saying during the verses versus the chorus. But this gives you a chance to actually digest all the information that they're giving you lyrically to set the scene and really draw you in visually to what the story is about. The next tool they use would be under the category of melodic registration. And that really is a fancy way of saying what pitches or what notes are they using in the melody. And they contrast that as well between the verses and the pre-chorus, contrasting it against what's going on in the chorus. So in the verse and the pre-chorus, they're really low in registration. The actual melody notes are down here. You see how low I am on the guitar. And then when you get to the chorus, they raise the registration. So you can see how they're contrasting by using just the pitches of the melody to separate the parts. Let's have a quick listen again to the verse and listen to the low registration of the verse. Okay, and then let's move up to the chorus section. And we'll hear how they're now changing that registration of that melody over the same chords, but moving it up an octave. Listen. So you can see and I'm going to demonstrate on the guitar playing it all in one string so you can get a sense of how the registration is changing. Again, the melody for the verse and the pre-chorus were down here. And then the chorus is a full octave up. So I guess the teaching here, what I learned is that you can change the registration or the pitches that you're using for melody and chorus and use them contrastingly and not change the chords and still make your song feel like it has sections to it. Really, really clever use of registration there. The other thing that they're doing with the melody is that they're changing the melodic contour or the shape of the melody. Is it flat? Is it declining? Is it rising? And they're using those different shapes to, again, propel the song forward. So on the verses, it's toggling between the C sharp and the E, and those two notes are going back and forth. It's almost like a recitative in opera, where it's basically non-melodic and they're kind of speaking the part. And so they're down here. Right? So let's have a quick listen to that. Bring a friend, join the crowd. Whoever wanna come along. Word up, just move and be the one. Right. So you can see that is a very flat sort of melodic two-note melody line. And then when you contrast that with the shape of the melody in the chorus, there's two shapes, and it's really quite brilliantly done. The first shape is a beautiful descending shape going down, and then they answer it with an ascending shape going up. So let's listen to the descending shape of the chorus melody first. Let's go. So you can see the shape of this one, instead of being just toggling back between two notes, it's actually rolling down the scale, starting from the sixth, the C sharp. So this is beautiful descending sloping line, and it's really, really catchy. And then they contrast it by then climbing back up in a different line with the second part of the chorus. Let's have a listen to that. So that little fragment where it's going up from B. So it's got a low B going all the way up an octave to a high B, and it's this climbing line. And then they turn it back around, and then... And you have this really great sense of sort of an inhale and an exhale. You know, they kind of inhale with the one line and they exhale with the other line. So it's very humanistic in that way as well. So brilliantly contrasting the slope and the curve of the melodic lines between the verse and the chorus. Again, that continues to help things not be monotonous as we go. The last melodic device that they're using here is actually the melodic rhythm, which is like how many notes are in each particular section. So they're using 16th notes on the verses. So they have that little toggle thing that they're using 16th and 8th notes in there. So it's pretty rapid and it's pretty accelerated there. But when they get to the chorus, they start using quarter notes. So they're contrasting the duration of the notes to create the sectionalizing of the pieces of music. So again, the verses are these sort of quick little burst, little staccato kind of 16th notes and 8th notes kind of intermixed. And then when they get to the chorus, they're using quarter notes, which are much longer in duration. It's 4 times longer than a 16th note. And you get this wonderful sort of release feel with these. You get these beautiful sort of patient sort of notes coming down, and the contrast between a 16th note and a quarter note is pretty dramatic, and they're using that to great effect. So melodic rhythm is also a great tool that you can use to keep your song moving along. The next element that they bring to bear in this song is a really, really great thing that happens in a lot of popular music, and that's the idea of a chant device, a chanting sort of repetitive sound, vocally usually, that then the audience can sing along with. And music is replete with so many examples of it. In this one, they have their song title, the Di-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. And that kind of na-na-na-na chanting, you can just imagine fans singing along with the Di-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. And examples occur all the time. And it's a very sort of congregational, united kind of feel. And that's why a lot of artists will do that. They love engaging the audience to sing along. And there is so many examples of that in history, like the Beatles' Hey Jude, which is na, 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 na. People like the nas too. I picked a couple. There's another one in the band Journey's song called Lights, which has this wonderful sort of sing-along thing at the end, which is the na, 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 na. Again, another na-na. And for one last example, which is kind of germane to what I do, which is kind of Led Zeppelin sort of stuff. Even Led Zeppelin has a chant device in theirs, in the song called The Ocean, where they have a breakdown, and it goes la 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 la. And the audience la 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 la. Chant devices are great. So if you're not using a chant device in any of your songs, when you feel that it's going to work, just go for it. It's a great thing to get the audience to participate with you. So now that we've talked about the chant device, let's listen to how BTS did it in this song, Dynamite. And so it just goes on in this song, and it's really fun. It's very youthful. They did a nice little trick where they did a root, third, fifth kind of stacking kind of vocal to it. Absolutely infectious for the audience. So really well done for these guys. Now let's move to, I think, the most important device that they're using in this song, and they do it with exquisite effect. And that is they're doing a modulation, a key modulation in the song. It happens around 3 minutes in. And to me, it's sort of metaphorical for the title, Dynamite, because there's explosive sort of impact when they do this really great key change. And this modulation is wonderful because it's a whole step modulation. A lot of times modulations will be kind of a half step move where you then go to the, you'll do a 5-1 modulation. You know, that's a typical kind of move that you would see. They don't do that here because they're starting on the 6th chord in their progression. Now, this is really cool. They're going to modulate the song from the key of E to the key of F sharp, okay? But they have to do it in a really kind of clever way because they don't have the modulation happening on the E chord to F sharp. They have the modulation happening on the 5 chord. So they're starting with C sharp minor, F sharp minor, B sus7 here. Now this is important because this chord is suspended. You're never hearing the dominant 7th in the chord with the 3rd in the voicing. You're hearing a suspended 4. Okay, why does that matter? That's because in the key of E, the only note that these musicians haven't used the whole part of the song is D sharp. They've played every other note, they've sung every other note in the key of E, but they've avoided D sharp. And by avoiding D sharp, they're doing something pretty powerful. And that is D sharp in the key of E is what's called the leading tone. And it has this real forceful way of pushing to a resolution. And if they would have done a dominant seventh on the B, on the 5, that gives you this sort of forceful push of a resolution. Okay? But they don't do that. The whole song they're playing B sus. There's no D sharp. They're starting with that. So you're waiting, you're not hearing the D sharp through the whole song. So when they do their modulation, they're going to introduce the D sharp, and they're effectively going to do that by going to the 6th chord, which is a D sharp minor, the 6th of the F sharp key that they're in. And when they do that move right off of the B7 sus, and they make the modulation, by moving to the D sharp chord, they're actually doing a little Jedi mind trick. The D sharp that shows up actually makes you finally feel like they've resolved the B7 sus chord into the natural B7 dominant chord. And so you're hearing that D sharp, your mind is actually fulfilled by the fact that you're getting a D sharp in there. It's a brilliant little modulation, and I think it's extraordinary, and it has that explosive effect, partly because they're really kind of finally paying off the last piece of harmonic information in the key of E, but now they're adding it by modulating the key of F sharp, and by using a D sharp minor chord, they're keeping the progression the same. They're moving to a 6, 2, 5 sus, 1, and they do it up now a whole step. And that's the key change. So let's have a listen to this really explosive modulation that they're using. Really, really powerful, really brilliant, a clever modulation, and I gotta hand it to them. That's a really great move. Again, it's only 4 chords, but that modulation really keeps it fresh, and the way they did that turn is pretty powerful in my estimation. The only thing that would make this song even more mind-blowing is if they would have actually done that modulation at what we call the golden ratio, the golden section moment of the song. And I talk about that in my other YouTube video for Blinding Lights, where the golden section, a really important moment happened. And quickly, the golden section in music, based on time, is about 61.8% through the duration of a song. If you have a really powerful move happening there, in BTS, in the Weeknd song, they hit the highest note of the whole song at that right moment. Here, they're doing this modulation at about 80% of the way through the song. My sense is that they would have cut back a little bit on the number of chants and popped this modulation in a little earlier, roughly around 60 to 66%. This would have really blown the top off the song. But it's still, I'm not criticizing it. I'm just saying that that would have been something that would have really, really been unbelievable. And so, but it still had a great effect, even that it happened at 80% of the song. But that was an opportunity to really make this Dynamite really explode. Let's move on to the last sort of technical point about this song, and that is the drama. The drama of the linkage between the story itself, the lyrics, and even the title, the information that those convey as they couple up with the music to kind of give you insight, mood, and setting. And they did a wonderful job with the drama of this song. And most importantly, they used their lyrics to provide great exposition to the story. And do you remember when I was talking about the verses where they didn't have many notes in there, just really kind of 2 notes toggling back and forth because they had a lot of information they were giving you? So what they were really doing was using the verse section with not too many melodic notes because they were giving you a lot of visual information. So the lyric, for example, during those verse parts, they're saying things very rapidly like, shoes on, I get up in the morning, cup of milk, let's rock and roll, King Kong, kick the drum, rolling on like a rolling stone, sing a song when I'm walking home, jump up to the top, LeBron, ding dong, call me on my phone, iced tea, a game of ping pong. There is so much furniture, as we call it, in lyric writing. There's so much information, visual information, that you as a listener can actually picture. You can absolutely picture shoes on, you know it's in the morning. So they're mentioning the shoes on, they're getting up in the morning, they're having a cup of milk. So they're talking about what they're wearing, what they're drinking, kind of their state of mind, which is kind of let's rock and roll, you know, kick the drum like a rolling stone. And then they're talking about sing a song when I'm walking home, so toward the end of the day, and they're jumping to the top, and they use a contemporary reference like LeBron, which 50 years from now, I think LeBron's big enough that people will know that, but oftentimes you don't want to put too much of a contemporary message in a song because it can get dated, but LeBron's pretty much eternal, so I'm from Cleveland, what can I say? But no, the point here is that they're using the verses for exposition, and then when they get to the choruses, then they're actually not worried about exposition. These are the things that you want to sing along to. So they're saying, I'm in the stars tonight, so watch me bring the firelight, and so on and so forth. And this is where you're getting to the repetition part of the song. So they're using the lyric to create the scene and the drama, but also give you a lot of information. So it's really wonderful sort of expository writing lyric-wise. And also the title of the song tells you about this dynamite sort of feeling, this really elated feeling, and they're pulling that out of the music with the modulation and so forth. And then lastly, in terms of sort of the mood and the insight, this is a youthful song. And the tools to create youthful feeling is that they're giving you youthful imagery, shoes. They're drinking milk. They're not drinking, a Manhattan. They're drinking iced tea. They're playing ping pong. They're referring to LeBron. Those are very youthful images and really, really cleverly applied to the audience for this kind of music. So very, very cool. And the kind of verses have sort of a, kind of a hip hop bounce sort of beat vibe to them. And then the choruses have these beautiful sing-along phrases, these wonderful. They're all scale steps, so it's very easy to sing along to, very memorable, very youthful in that regard. So the drama ties up with the lyrics, with the information, with the picture, and they're really grabbing hold of you in every possible way, visually, auditorially, and just kind of mood. And so really well done on the drama and the lyrics here. I just want to close by mentioning the commercial considerations that were put into this music, and that's somewhat controversial. People don't like to think about making something commercial, or making something mass appeal. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's wonderful because to me, music is a gift, and you're giving the gift to someone. You want someone to receive your gift. So I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to think about how you can commercialize a song. And so they're doing it quite well here. And they obviously had some wonderful producers, and they're thinking very constructively about their audience. And so the target audience is in mind, and it's being characterized in the use of melody, the use of rhythm, the use of lyrics. And so it really is tying into their target audience. And then the video, I have to say something about the video production. It is really quite beautiful. It's bright, it's happy, the colors are upbeat. And so the whole package comes together really commercially inclined to elevate the whole experience for their target audience. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's been going on for time in memoriam. When I was younger, there was a group called the Bee Gees, and they were really, really tied into and tuned into kind of contemporary music. And as they would write songs, and they would really pound their songs into shape by taking quotes, melodic quotes, or they would take chord progressions that were going on that were popular in the day in the 60s and 70s. And they would take those and they would implement them into their songs, and they would really very mindfully craft their songs to register with the contemporary audiences of the time. And look, the Bee Gees wrote some of the greatest pop songs in the history of music. So there's nothing really wrong about trying to look at commercialization as not a dirty word, but using it as a tool to enhance your gift giving as a composer and as a musician and as an artist. So nothing wrong with that in my estimation. Well, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like these breakdowns of the pop songs. I think they're fantastic. They're a lot of fun, and I like doing things that I wouldn't ordinarily do, and I'm learning a lot, and I hope I'm able to share a couple things that can either help you as a listener to just maybe understand music a little more clearly than before, and if you're an artist, a composer, whatever, and you want some tools how to move your songs forward, I think these are some really great things that we're breaking out of these songs, and I know I'm excited about learning some of these techniques myself. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and share. And above all, leave comments. I love interacting. I love hearing what you like or what you don't like. And certainly give me some ideas. If there's other songs that you'd like me to break down, I'd love to do it for you. Thank you.